I would not go along with that assessment because first and foremost, incidents like this or accidents like this mandatorily demand a court of inquiry, and court of inquiry is also based on a preliminary assessment. It requires that detailed examination of facts, figures, time and space dimension. It is perhaps coincidental. It is also, I do not rule out that information is now put out in the public domain based on the fact that the elections are over. Because if the Indian Air Force officers had chosen to speak during the election period, then perhaps they would have been hauled over the coals, because this government is unforgiving of any elements who are critical of the government. So it would have caused a problem. I'm sure I have my sympathies with my friends, serving friends on this issue.
The helicopter was in contact with the air traffic control at that time, but the weapons operators still fired the missiles. So could you tell me about the protocol that is there before firing a missile, and the safety layers to prevent friendly fire?
There are safety layers. We have to look at the issue first. There was a large force engagement involving nearly 24 Pakistani Air Force aircraft and about 12 our aircraft. Now this is a very unusual situation which has not been perhaps people on the ground are not familiar with it, although the pilots are all trained for large force engagement. That's the first point. Now here there is a protocol, of course. We must not forget air defenses are alert. We know aircraft are coming to attack. No one knows where exactly, but everyone is on alert. There is an aircraft warning and control system, an aircraft airborne. So is there aircraft warning and control, which is an indigenous platform. All these are part of what's termed integrated air command and control system. Now that is what gives orders for a firing unit. So it is not so much the linkage between the air traffic control and the firing unit. It does seem that it has been what we in the Air Force classically call a blue on blue engagement or fratricide. So we have shot our own aircraft. In this case, a very, very sturdy Mi-17 V-5. We don't have a sturdier helicopter in the Air Force today. Very rare, and it happens to all Air Forces. I think the Indian Air Force action on February 27 in response to a very, very large force from Pakistan has been exemplary. It is unfortunate that it's been a bad day for the Indian Air Force because it not only got witness to the fact that a MiG-21 shot down an F-16, but also we lost our own MiG-21 Bison. Fortunately, the pilot Abhinandan, every citizen of the country knows him. And what was worse, we lost a helicopter which was not in a combat mission, which was in a routine mission.
The identification of friend and foe system was switched off in the helicopter. And is this because it interferes with the civil aircraft transmission, or is it because of system failure that we?
I do not know. In a high alert situation like that, there would be no civilian aircraft flying. Okay. That's for sure. Nor would they be allowed to fly. Secondly, the IAF in that situation was critical for air defense systems because, as you yourself said, identification friend or foe. Now, if your IAF is switched off, the shooter and the sensor do not know whether the aircraft which is flying is a friend or a foe, and that is what eventually happened. We do not know the results. As I said, I'm only commenting on the basis of what's appeared in today's national dailies, but given the conversations between the correspondents and so-called serving officers who have not been named, it does appear that the IAF was switched off, which is a procedural infraction on the part of the pilots, because especially we knew that after Balakot strike, which was well known by 27th morning, when aircraft were flying, they knew they were vulnerable to situations like this.